Welcome to SodaGeeks. I'm Deven.
I'm Connor.
This week we have our first guest ever, which is why you only see one of my hands gesturing. Cheel, but from the Film Junk podcast, and you're a documentary director as well as other things. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
So I obviously watch Film Junk podcasts, and you've left enough comments so that I knew that you listened to this podcast or watched this podcast as well. And we kind of joked on Facebook a little bit here and there about having you come and be on the show, like if you were ever in Sacramento or whatever. And eventually you just messaged me and said, hey, let's make this happen.
Technology. I don't have to travel.
Yeah. You're in Thorold, which is kind of between Niagara and Toronto, right?
Yeah, it's in Niagara, so it's like 5 minutes from Niagara Falls.
Okay.
So it's close to the U.S. border. And I work out of Toronto a lot, so I commute, but it's just a boring little town where I am slowly rotting away. Miserable. It's wonderful.
And I've actually met you there a couple of times. When we vacationed there, we went to the movies and we had lunch later that week in Toronto. So
yeah, you got to go to the Candies drive-in, which
yes.
Is 5 minutes from me, and it's something me and the guys at Film Junk, we go to the drive-in. I try to go almost every weekend through the summer, and I actually just did a short film called Twisted. Get my plug out right now.
Sure. It's on Vimeo. Why not?
Yeah. It's a short film about back in the 90s, there was a rumor that a tornado hit the drive-in while the movie Twister was playing on the screen and ripped the screen down. And so it's a look at that urban legend. But Canview Drive-in, it's the best. It was great that you guys got to come up and visit it.
Yeah. And I used to live a little bit further north of Sacramento here in the town of Marysville, which is, there used to be a Marysville drive-in, and we would go there all the time. And unfortunately, when the owner died, his children had absolutely zero interest in continuing that business. So the screen, nothing is there now. It is an empty field. It's kind of strange, but
yeah, it's nowadays, I guess, the value, at least here, the value of the land is way higher than the value of the drive-in theater. So it has to be owned by someone who's passionate about keeping it alive. And I'm sure it's right beside the highway, so I'm sure they're getting offers to turn it into Walmarts and whatnot. So
yeah.
Sacramento has a 6-screen drive-in still, not too far from me. We don't go there as often as we should, but it is a miracle to me that in the middle of Sacramento, this thing is still alive and kicking with all that land right off of Highway 50. It's on your way up to Tahoe. It's crazy that it's still there.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to vacation there, and you can take me to that.
Yeah. They supplement a little bit by having the occasional like motorcycle swap meet and stuff there during the days.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what he knows it more from because I go to those. But I'm getting a poor network connection here.
Poor network?
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm getting a porn network connection.
No, that would be a little more fun, I suppose. But
Connor's phone.
Yeah. What message is coming through?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hit it. We'll start with the sodas here, because we got a big episode. We mailed you a few things to try. One that you had messaged me a pic of, I don't know, 6 months ago or something, which will be the pickle flavored soda. And Lester's Fixins is the brand, and so far Lester's Fixins is 0 for 2. They're always horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know why they continue to exist, but I guess because idiots like us decide we need to try it. But
on the side of the bottle that it says that the product is not affiliated with Pickle Juice, made by the Pickle Juice Company in Mesquite, Texas. And then it tells you where to buy that drink. So it seems weird that, I don't know if they're infringing on they feel like they're infringing on some copyright, so they actively put a commercial for a different soda company on their label. That
is right. I did not notice that.
Doing his research.
Not affiliated with Pickle Juice. To buy their product, visit picklepower.com?
Yeah. So this is not only is it pickle flavored soda, but it's like the second tier.
It's the knockoff. Nice. Very nice.
Said you need the blue thing.
Yeah. These twist off caps are tight.
So I'm drinking. I like drinking my soda out of the classic. I got the classic diner cups, like the red plastic.
Yes.
I just love it. You guys are using frosted glass.
Yeah, we got a couple of coffee mugs that are just clear glass, but very coffee mug shaped.
Right.
And actually, this one that Connor has is actually a mustard jar, imported German mustard jar. But so it looks like it's got the barrel pattern, and then when you, but it's got a handle, so when you're done with the mustard, you can keep it.
Are we doing the pickle juice first? Yeah.
I opened it. We might as well do it first. I didn't announce that, but good point. We'll do this first. Oh my gosh, it's so yellowish green when it comes out. I mean, it's clear. Obviously, you can kind of see it anyway, but.
Okay, so the smell of it. The smell for me, I mean, it obviously smells like pickles, but it more smells like dill pickle flavored chips, which you guys don't really have.
No, we don't.
That's like one of the main flavors of chips up here.
Right, and that and the ketchup, right? Yeah. I've had ketchup when I was deployed to Iraq in 2006. For some reason, the ketchup flavored chips were everywhere.
Dude, this makes me nervous just smelling it.
Once the foam dies down, the smell is not as strong. It's not effervescent, you know.
Guys, pickle fans. I love pickles. This is why I wanted to drink this. But...
I like pickles. There's a garlic barreled pickle that imported from Germany that's in my commissary on base where we can go shopping, and that I buy that all the time. They're dill, but they have a hint of sweet that American dill does not have.
Right.
I fucking love them. I just today. Anytime I go grocery shopping at the commissary, I'm picking up a jar. Let's take a drink before the ice melts too much here.
It's not very pickle-ish.
No, it's like they've kind of chickened out a little bit.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is when I'm taking a drink, I am really smelling the pickle. I'm really smelling it, but when it hits your tongue, it's not that strong a flavor at all.
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
It's like just a sugary, sweet drink with a slight hint of pickle.
Yeah. Yeah, they did not go bold here.
I would say that's disappointing in itself. I mean, it might be worse if they really went all out and made it taste like pickles, but the fact that you don't even get to really experience what that would taste like is a little disappointing.
Right. It's almost like it would have been worse, but it would have been better to try. You know? To say, okay, they went bold, they tried it, this is what it tastes like. It's crap, but this is just bad in an almost bland way.
Yeah, and there's enough of that hint of pickle, like just enough to make it kind of sickening. It's not refreshing. It's not something I think I will be able to finish in one sitting.
No, I keep getting the whiff of it as I'm going up to drink, and then nothing when I drink, and it's almost kind of like it's disturbing my senses a little bit.
Connor, are you a pickle fan?
Yeah, definitely.
This is like, you think you would prefer it to taste more pickly, or?
Yeah, definitely. I think yeah, it's a good point. If they were gonna go for it, should have just thrown it out there and done it. But
yeah,
whatever.
but I can't pinpoint what the flavor is. Like, setting aside what the pickle side of it, what is the flavor that's overwhelming the drink?
The pure cane sugar, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like a plain sweetness, I guess. What does it say is in there?
It says spring water, cane sugar, citric acid, natural flavor, and then gums and the normal preservative stuff, and then turmeric for color.
So then it just must be plain sugar water.
Yeah. It's plain. It's sugar water with just a hint of the pickle. Somehow, I don't know, dill. If they put just a hint of the dill in there, that gives it that smell and the very lame kind of hint of a flavor. I don't know why I'm still drinking it. I'm thirsty, but I'm not thirsty for that.
Yeah, I set mine down.
Well, Lester's Fixins, you are 0 for 3. You're and you didn't even go as bold with this as you should have. Say what you will about the worst soda we've ever tasted, Lester Fixins Bacon Soda. It didn't taste that much like bacon either, but at least it had a very strong flavor. It was a bad one, but, this is just so mediocre.
I wonder what the reason is for that. If it's like, do you think they actually have people testing the flavoring and they decided this kind of is better, or is it cheaper to just say it's pickle flavored and just use sugar water with a slight tint of it, or I don't know. It seems like a weird choice.
These specialized sodas we get at like Rocket Fizz and other places like that are so weird. It's a strange business because it's a product that they fully expect, I assume, that the person is going to buy once and then never buy again.
Right.
So, therefore, you can only fool so many people before you have zero sales.
Yeah. Do you guys have where do novelty sodas land for you guys in terms of respect? I assume you don't find yourselves drinking novelty sodas outside of doing this.
No.
Or out of curiosity. Like, you've never hit one where it's so good that you would...
Not the novelty ones. There are a couple of the craft colas that, near us, I've mentioned it on this show before, but we have a Cordy Brothers, which is a little Italian supermarket that is, they're very overpriced, and they're more famous for, they have, hundreds of cheeses at their deli counter and meats at their deli counter. If there's a cheese or meat that exists just about, you can go there and get it, and they're good for that. And they have fresh imported bread every morning from bakeries in San Francisco, so they're good for that stuff. But all the regular groceries are very overpriced. A box of cereal is $5 or whatever. But they do have a craft cola section, and that's where we got a lot of the early drinks for this show before we depleted what they had. And once in a while, I will step in there and just get a Curiosity Cola or the Soda Pop Shop Cola or whatever. Those are good. But actual, you know what? I don't know if it's a gimmick flavor, but Kickapoo Joy Juice.
Yeah.
And Cap Milai's Parrot Punch.
Parrot Punch.
The Parrot Punch was one that I got him all the time for a while. And it's really just kind of a squirt. So I don't know how novelty it is necessarily, Right. But, the name is more of a novelty than what the actual flavor was. But, no, all these other novelty ones we've gotten, I've never bought them again.
Yeah.
Partly because...
Cold juice again.
What's that?
you will never buy
No.
pickle again.
No. Now, it does make me slightly curious for the pickle juice by the Pickle Juice Company.
Yes. I agree.
It does make me a little bit curious. Like, did they go bold? Did they go all the way in its own horrible way?
I mean, based on the name, the Pickle Juice Company, you would think that they would go bold.
Yeah.
So now that does make me curious for that. I might have to go on the website and see how much it would be to buy and ship a couple of bottles of that here. But
I'm internally burping, and I am getting pickle flavored burps in my mouth. So there's I guess, that is lingering a little bit, but
all right. Well,
side effects.
We got, let's see, what are we going to rate this? I'm giving it a 1 star. I think it's a failure even in being the novelty it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 1 star too. That's what I'm going for.
I think I'm going to give it a 1 too, not to be boring or copying, but yeah, it's disappointing that I just would have liked to have been grossed out more by it.
Yeah.
Right. All right, the next one I sent to you because of what it is, specifically. Not the flavor, which it does not identify whatsoever on the bottle, but the fact that it's called San Francisco Fog, and we are not in the Bay Area, but we're very near. You know, San Francisco is almost local here to us.
Right.
Just a couple hour drive, in the same way that Toronto is to you, you know.
Now, can I want to take a guess at what this is going to taste like.
Okay. All right.
I want to take a guess too, because I have one.
I remember in high school going to dances, high school dances.
Yes.
Have the fog machine.
Uh-huh.
Fog is always scented like strawberry or like cotton. It smells like cotton candy a little bit. I'm hoping this is strawberry flavored, so it just tastes like you're drinking fog juice from a high school.
Okay. All right.
Alright, my guess was, it looks like the cherry Gatorade or whatever, like the clear cherry Gatorade, so I'm gonna guess cherry. That was my,
That's pretty close. Strawberry, cherry, maybe like a berry flavored.
Yeah.
If it tastes remotely berry flavored, we can argue over whether it's cherry or
Yeah.
Now, I've been kind of assuming, because of its opaque whiteness, which you can't even see against our white wall too much, but I've kind of just been assuming that it is going to be sugar water.
Yeah.
You know.
That would be a bummer.
And it says pure cane sugar. It says drink a San Francisco Fog soda, and then in the bottom, real small, it says drink fog.
Right.
And it's got, you know, an image that's supposed to be the Bay Bridge, I suppose, or the Golden Gate Bridge.
I was gonna say the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. We even got separate cups for this time, so that it would not, the pickle juice would in no way.
I was going to do that, but then is that overkill? Should I get a?
Normally we just put it in the same glass, but this time we did not want the pickle to interfere with the fog, you know.
Okay, so.
Very faint smell. It's not very.
It's tough to place the smell. Kind of just a general cola-ish. I don't know. All right.
I'm gonna go bottle because I can smell the pickle in my cup.
Okay. All right. You gotta go. So there we go.
Mm.
Oh, what
it's
is
like
that?
A butterscotch almost or something.
What is that?
I taste like a butterscotch or like a
maybe
yeah.
cream.
So
Like
my first thought was like a licorice something.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's like a black licorice, which I hate.
Me too. Yes, we all do here. Yes.
A little buttery. It immediately reminded me of the butterbeer at the Harry Potter park at Universal Studios.
There is a hint of a butterscotchy something like that.
Is yours? Mine feels it tastes a little flat. Is yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not very carbonated.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're right about that. I mean, I see a little bit of bubbles in there, but it's not. It didn't have a lot of foam pouring out. It's not real carbonated.
It tastes like there's a little bit of like citrus or something in there as well.
Yeah. When you're first drinking.
Yeah, there's definitely a hint of like it's like they took Moxie, which is, I don't know if you've ever had Moxie Cola, but it is licorice, straight licorice flavored.
Yeah.
It's popular in New England, and they mix it with like Jägermeister because that's all licorice, you know. So it's like they took Moxie and some kind of root beer or butter beer type of thing, and a hint of Sprite, and put it together.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, though. Especially as someone who does not like licorice. The licorice
It's not bad.
is not that bold in the flavor palette.
I think the only thing that's bothering me is how little it's carbonated. It's just giving it this. I think it's making it taste a lot sweeter than I would like. Like, I'd like the carbonation to cut the sweetness a little bit.
Right.
Maybe.
And I assume you were asking because of the fact that yours got shipped, so it might have been stirred around quite a bit, and
I don't know how that works.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if carbonation escapes that way or not. If I shake a soda long enough and then open it, I assume it's flat. I don't know, but
Yeah.
well,
I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I don't know that I would crush like 6 of these in a night.
right. No,
Right.
I'm not going to sit down to watch a movie or a TV show and, I'll grab a San Francisco Fog, you know. In fact,
Yeah.
anyone who grabs novelty sodas just to sit down and chill in front of the TV, I question certain life choices, but
I would imagine they're more expensive as well, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah. You know, one bottle is about $2.50, so it's $1 more than a regular soda of the same size. You know, I will say though that I will probably, just out of the novelty, I will probably at least finish off this bottle, whereas the pickle juice is going straight in the garbage. Pickle, not pickle juice. I don't want to be confused with the product pickle juice. I mean pickle flavored soda.
Yeah, I think I'll drink the whole bottle of this, I think.
Oh, thanks for giving me some, Dad.
Oh, yeah. You want some?
Yeah.
You want to top it off?
Sure.
Okay, you can have. Oh, I should have left a little splash
That's enough.
for others in the house to try.
Oh, well, Ariel and...
Yeah. We got some nieces over right now playing in another room, so. All right. Oh, what are we gonna rate that? You know, I'm giving it a passing score of 3. It's nothing special at all.
Is 3 passing or is 2.5?
It's a 5-star scale, so I just figure 3 is in the middle. It's like,
Gotcha.
you know.
Okay.
However, that's how I rate the movies anyway. I use like Netflix's. I take Netflix's scale pretty literally. 3 is like, 4 is really like, 5 is love. You know.
Right.
And 90% of stuff that I enjoy is 4 at best. You know, I try to save the 5s, I guess.
I mean, I would go 3, but if it was more carbonated, I would go 3.5, I think.
It also makes me wonder how long these sat on the shelves. How long do they sit, these novelty sodas? I don't know if they lose their carbonation over time or not. It might, like Diet Cokes, Coke Zeros, those things, they go bad over time. They have only like a 3-month shelf life, you know. But the sweetened stuff that's like regular with cane sugar or corn syrup, they last pretty much forever. Because of the sugar acts as like a preservative or whatever, but so I don't know if these would go bad over time, but
I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
understandable.
Yeah.
How come? Is it because of the licorice flavor?
The licorice flavor isn't that bad, but I wouldn't say I like it, so I wouldn't give it a 3.
Okay.
Right.
But whatever.
Maybe, you know, and I'll admit that three star is probably a small bump because I'm just shocked it's not awful.
I think also considering, like, while the flavor might not be exactly for me, I'm considering that it could have been absolutely terrible, and I feel like someone who likes licorice might appreciate it. I don't want to slam it completely because
Yeah.
I would maybe recommend it to somebody who wants to try something different that might like licorice.
No, yeah, I mean, if somebody tells, like, I have in the past when someone says they really like Jägermeister or they really like licorice, I'll say, have you tried Moxie? Now here's another one that I could suggest to them if they're ever in, although I don't know if it's in any other Rocket Fizz locations outside of San Francisco. I don't know if, you know, the one in Salt Lake City is going to have this or if it's just specific to this store, but... So to cleanse our palates, we also sent you some candy, and this is candy we have tried before, but they are good. The cola candies are almost always a hit. There's very rarely been a miss on those. I don't know which one you want to try first.
Let's try the Pez.
The Pez is a good choice. This was purchased at the Rocket Fizz. That's who usually has it here in the States.
Yeah.
Although the Mentos I actually got in Canada when we were up in Vancouver not too long ago.
Right. Now the smell. Do you think there's a difference between actual, like, drinking a cola and cola flavored candy? So the smell immediately reminds me of, like, the bottle shaped gummies, cola gummies,
Right.
more than it does an actual Coke or something. Strawberry flavored candy doesn't necessarily taste like strawberry,
Right.
but
And you know, the trick with cola flavored candies is that cola is not quite the same without the fizz of the carbonation. And so, but the Pez in particular do something really interesting in that it's almost like the old Pop Rocks or something. They almost have like a foaminess when you start chewing them up. And so they really kind of simulate it well, at least from my memory. It's been a while, obviously, since I've had them.
yeah.
So I'll pop a couple into my mouth here.
Oh yeah.
There's still like a base Pez candy flavor to it as well, I find.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's true. Like, yeah, I could see that.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know if I would exactly say, like, what does make the cola flavor officially cola, other than, I mean, it used to be the cola nut, obviously, but that most software, bottlers haven't used that actual flavor in a long time. So it's a mixture of chemicals and everything else, and they've got to use a similar palette here. So it's not the same as drinking Coke, but
Yeah.
When they say cola and then I put it in my mouth, I taste cola.
Yeah.
Maybe part of that is suggestion. I don't know, but
Yeah, I think like I said, to me it tastes more like, I haven't had a ton of cola flavored candy, but it tastes exactly like the cola gummies that I like,
Yeah.
rather than an actual cola.
we actually finally had those on the show not too long ago, even though they've been around forever, For some reason, that was just one that had never happened. But
Okay, well, it was good.
yeah,
Caffeine free.
Are we gonna rate him or no?
do you want to rate them?
I'll rate him. I'm gonna give him a 4.
They're I mean, they're like a 4.5 to me. They're good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm generally not a big Pez fan.
And because of that general Pez under flavor, you still are sensing that.
Still taste the Pez.
Okay.
But they're good. They're better than if I were to, have a Pez dispenser. I would fill it with cola flavored Pez.
I actually do like Pez.
Yeah.
I do. So maybe that does help.
Oh man, drinking that fog soda is not good after that Pez. Just tasting the good cola and then going back to that, it's...
Oh, would you just take a drink to wash it down or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a downgrade, definitely.
All right.
Mentos are actually Canadian Mentos. They
Yes.
don't in the States.
Yeah, it looks like the ingredients are actually in German. Dragis mit Cola schmeckt. Zucker, that's sugar. Is glucose syrup, that's same thing. So yeah,
So it must be an import.
it looks like it. The company says Holland, but I speak some German. This is German, but and yeah, we got it at a candy shop, specialty candy shop there in Vancouver, and these are discontinued. The fresh cola flavored Mentos, you cannot get them anymore. So I actually bought 10 packages, $20 worth, and got them home, and I've just been slowly eating and enjoying them since then.
Well,
So-
thank you for sending me. the whole
Yes.
package. Precious.
And unfortunately, it had to burn up 2 precious
Right.
packages because we didn't even talk about the fact that the first package failed to get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely,
Yeah, I guess.
lovely FedEx sent me a notification that the product was unusable and it was discarded. So we had to take one of everything and send it to you again, this time through the postal service, and it worked. That story would have been a lot longer a couple of weeks ago, but I'm over my frustration,
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to pop another Pez. We got Mentos here to try. All right, they got a very light kind of caramel color to them.
Oh, I thought we were all eating it already, so I almost just ate it.
Let's just do it.
All right.
All right.
It's making my jaw click. I have TMJ, so that's... It's good. It takes a while to get to the cola flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you really start chewing it for a while, and the saliva and the juices build up, that's when you really get it.
Mm-hmm. It's a delayed response cola flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Good.
say it. I think the Pez is better though.
Really?
Yeah.
Having just tried one over the other, it's funny you say that because when I first put the Mentos in and started chewing, I'm like, man, the Pez is better, and I didn't remember that. But once the juices really get flowing and the flavor really comes out, the Mentos are better.
I don't think so.
Hunter, juices just aren't flowing.
Maybe.
Have I said that phrase one too many times?
Maybe.
I think I prefer the Mentos just because, maybe not so much because of the cola flavor, but I like a chewy candy over like a hard candy. And it's just as simple as that. I mean, I could eat this whole thing right now, I think.
Oh yeah, they are addictive. Oh, well that just broke.
Well, at least they didn't spill on the ground, so you're good.
I would probably still eat them, but
Hard candy, right? It's
it's not that big of a deal.
yeah, germs don't get in them, only on them, so you're good. You're good.
Great lesson.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I do like them a little more. I think the Mentos Fresh Cola are a 5-star candy for me. I really enjoy them. And,
I think I'd go 4.5.
I'm gonna go with the 4.
Is that what you rated the Pez?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Pez, you like the Pez a little more, but they're both in the 5-star range.
Yeah.
Or 4-star range.
4-star, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, as is normal, the candies are more successful than the sodas. That happens almost every time we have a candy on this podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
You almost can't go wrong, though. With cola, I mean...
Yeah, we've had a couple of the German ones I got in Germany that were like a sour candy that tasted vaguely of sour cardboard, but they were supposed to be cola flavored UFOs is what they called them. Those were pretty awful.
There was not a single drop of cola in that.
So. No, there wasn't really.
I guess when you're doing a cola flavored candy, the main goal is to just add a basic cola flavor into whatever type of candy you're making. Whereas if you're doing like specialty colas or something, then maybe it seems like there's an urge to add something or change it slightly or mess with the recipe a little bit to make your soda stand out, and that's where problems happen.
That's a good point. You know, yeah, because they don't want to just put out something that tastes like Coke or Pepsi, because Coke or Pepsi exists. So they have to put a spin on it and change it somehow and, you know, give it some kick or whatever. Whereas if you're going for candy, you are shooting for as close to cola as you can. The one thing that's, like jelly beans, they have root beer, they have Dr. Pepper, they have Sprite, they have a lot of flavors. They do not have a cola one, and I've always wondered why.
They don't have a general cola flavor.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if, I guess maybe they're only interested in like a brand association, because the root beer is an A&W one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Dr. Pepper or Sprite or Mountain Dew or whatever. That's true. And but I've also kind of wondered if maybe just the cola flavor is not specific enough. Like with the Dr. Pepper one, you put it in your mouth and you go, this does taste kind of Dr. Peppery, you know? Whereas the cola one, what are you going to say? It tastes vaguely like an RC or something? You're not, you know...
But you'd think, because their whole recipe thing, that having a basic cola flavor would be good to mix with like a cherry Jelly Belly.
Oh, right, how you can put two together, and here, this makes cherry cola, and this makes a cherry Dr. Pepper, and whatever. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you would think that would be a good base one to have.
Yeah. Well... Just gonna have to mix Mentos with Jelly Bellies.
There you go. So now that we've tried everything we have here, there is something rather than have a news segment or whatever, there is something I wanted to ask you about. You've mentioned on the Film Junk podcast, I believe, before that first of all, you guys went through a monster kick for a while, and I have recently been drinking the Ultra Black, which is the only Monster flavor that I enjoy so far of all that I've tried. But you did mention that when you're in the States, sometimes shopping, you get Coke Zero Cherry.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you if you have tried the Coke Zero Vanilla and what you thought of that, because that is my favorite soda out there.
I haven't tried. I don't think I've tried Coke Zero Vanilla. I've seen it. I don't know. I will try it. I've heard you talk about it over and over, and I will give it a shot. I guess vanilla. I think vanilla isn't my favorite. Sometimes it can to me taste a little. I don't know if medicinal is the right word, but almost like taking a whiff of vanilla extract, and it's got that really strong medicinal sort of scent.
Right.
Something's flavored with a vanilla that's too strong for my liking, then it just kind of puts me off.
Okay.
Even like a strongly flavored vanilla ice cream. And I think the reason I like the Cherry Coke Zero is because it's like, I just find it to be very refreshing. Like I find I can drink that with a number of things. Like I would never eat a meal like, steak or something and drink a root beer, because the root beer is so specifically sweet and flavored, whereas the Cherry Coke Zero, it's not that it's flavorless, but it just feels like refreshing first and then sweet second.
Right.
So it's I feel like it goes with more things than a regular Coke or but maybe vanilla Coke does as well. I don't know.
Well, what I have found is I think the regular vanilla Coke, Coca-Cola vanilla, which is a little bit easier to get, is way too sweet for me. It's way too vanilla for me. And although for what you're saying, I do like the vanilla flavor typically. Right. If I'm going to a place that has chocolate or vanilla shakes, I'm going to pick a vanilla. But the vanilla Coke is a little too strong for me. So the vanilla Coke Zero isn't nearly as sweet.
Yeah.
And so I 90% of the time that I'm reaching for a soda, that's what I have. On hot summer days, I like a Diet Coke with lime.
Yeah.
I think that there's like a little of refreshness to it that I like. Yeah, I would encourage you to give it a shot. Unfortunately, 90% of the time, the only way you can find it is with a 12-pack. So if you don't like it, you're hosed with the other 11 sodas, I guess. But
I'll force it down. It can't be that bad, I don't think. So I'll try it. Usually when I go to the States, I'll wait until it's like four cases for $11 or whatever, and then I'll just load up. So I can get, 1 vanilla and 3 cherry. Give it a shot. Yeah. And then I'll just cut the vanilla with the cherry if it's not.
Right. I have had to do that for stuff we've bought. Although, was it when I tried the cola flavored energy drink Celsius not that long ago? We did it on the podcast, and it was awful. And so,
right?
What's that?
The can looked cool.
Yeah. Right. And those I had to buy a 12-pack. And so that we each had one, so I had 10 left here, and I ended up giving those to my mom to drink because she lives in a little, she's retired and she's on a very fixed income, and she finds that like the 5-hour energies and stuff really help her get through the day, and so I just gave her those and said, these may taste awful, but maybe they'll help you get through the day with the energy. And she messaged me later to actually say that they weren't that bad to her. That they weren't great, but they were drinkable to get the job done, But yeah, so I guess you'll have to take that chance. But I would encourage you to take that chance. That's one of the few sodas that's totally 5 stars for me.
Yeah.
And I recently, it's a little tougher to find, but I recently decided, like, since that's usually what I want, I'm just not buying anything else. Why occasionally throw in a cherry or a lime if I'm not in the mood? So, like, that's pretty much all I buy for regular daily drink, whatever.
Yeah. Well, if I had the option, I would probably, over the Cherry Coke Zero, get Mr. Pibb Cherry Zero. So we up here we don't have Mr. Pibb, but at the movie theaters we have the pop machines that have like 100 flavors in them,
right,
or whatever, and then you just press through to what you want, and they have Mr. Pibb in there. It's Mr. Pibb Extreme, but then they have the 0-calorie ones, and there's there's vanilla cherry and regular.
Right.
I always get the cherry there. So that's what I would like to have in can form. I don't even know if it exists in can form, but it's not anywhere around here, not even across.
Mr. Pibb Cherry, you said?
Mr. Pibb Cherry Zero.
Okay. I don't know if they have zero, but what we did find recently in our experimentation is here in the States you have Pibb Ultra, which is the added cherry flavor.
Okay.
So now you have to see if they have Pibb Zero Ultra.
Right. Now, okay, well, I will go on my quest.
Yeah, Ultra is the key word that you want to look for then.
Right.
Because we did Dr. Pepper versus Mr. Pibb, and it turned out we had accidentally bought Pibb Ultra, and so then we were like, well, we should have found the Dr. Pepper Cherry to have that be a square fight, but we didn't know that ahead of time when we bought it,
Yeah, Mr. Pibb it's a rare drink around here.
No, and in fact, just Mr. Pibb, that doesn't even exist anymore around here that I know of, other than maybe those freestyle machines. It's
still in my movie.
It's Pibb Extreme or Pibb Ultra are the two that we usually see. And what the Extreme is, I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Extra caffeine or something, I'm not even sure. Oh, look. Our second guest ever makes an appearance.
Yeah, so, well, I appreciate you guys sending me all of this stuff. I'm going to feel bad when I pour this down the drain.
Considering how much it cost to ship.
You sent it to me so I could pour it down the drain.
Right. When we could have just poured it down the drain here and saved ourselves. No, it's all perfectly good. I was glad to do it just so we could have some fun on the podcast here. And thanks for being a guest.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Think that's it.
Yep.
Yeah? All right. That's all from us. And thanks to Jay Cheel, our guest. And in the meantime, we encourage you to enjoy good soda this week.